Chapter 11 Tobirama, please give me some advice. Waiting online. It's urgent. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In the picture on the light screen, Tobirama and Izuna were fighting with swords when they were teenagers. Lin Tian's voice also continued to speak, when the two younger brothers were fighting hand to hand and the battle was at a stalemate. The elder and younger parents of both sides, with the idea of having another child, fired a hidden weapon at the other's child. Hashirama and Madara on the side immediately used stones to crack the hidden weapons and rescued their respective brothers. After saving my brother in this battle, the two sides exchanged pleasantries and ended happily. For a long period of time afterwards, Uchiha and Senju fought fiercely. Hashirama and Madara also became the patriarchs of their respective families. Tobirama was afraid of Uchiha's power, so he developed many ninjutsu that would influence later generations, and became the true second-in-command in the clan. TCHU actually said that I developed various ninjutsu because I was afraid of Uchiha's power. I just wanted to increase the strength of the Senju clan. It was definitely not because I was afraid of Uchiha. Shimura Danzo's reaction was obviously faster than Sarutobi Hiruzen. After Senju Tobirama finished speaking, he immediately answered. Yes, how could teacher Tobirama be afraid of Uchiha? I think this person is just making random guesses. Senju Tobirama looked at Shimura Danzo with a look of a teachable child. This made Danzo happy, knowing that he was flattering the right person. Sarutobi Hiruzen on the side subconsciously curled his lips. He didn't believe what Mr. Tobirama said. In the entire Jounin class of Konoha, who doesn't know that their second-generation Hokage and the Uchiha clan are not good at dealing with each other? If it weren't for fear, there would be no need to arrange the other party's tribe on the periphery of the village. Although their clan's land area was the largest among all clans, they were also excluded from the center of power in the village and could only manage an offending security department. Uchiha could not get involved in other departments at all. For a long time, the two races were evenly matched. The weakness of either party will affect the future trend of the entire ninja world. Finally, in a certain battle, the check and balance between the two races was broken. The second best player, Tobirama, faced off against Izuna. Connect to the scene. At this time, Uchiha Madara's little brother Izuna activates Shuinpa and rushes towards Tobirama. Izuna saw Tobirama's beautiful face and glared at Tobirama with his Sharingan. Tobirama was afraid that he would be infected with pinkeye, so he quickly closed his eyes. Izuna held the neutral position and kicked Tobirama's waist, and also fired a face-shattering punch, and took advantage of the situation to receive a wave of useless fire escape, the high fireball technique. Tobirama quickly stood up to take the attack, and fired a water dragon bullet with 3 or 2 seals. The collision of the water dragon bullet and the fireball produced a cloud of water vapor, and Tobirama took the opportunity to throw several kunai. Izuna used Sharingan to see through, but it was of no use. Brother Tobirama used the Flying Thunder God killing technique to knock Izuna to the ground. After Izuna was beaten to death by Tobirama, Madara Uchiha, the guardian madman, took Izuna and quickly left the battlefield, leaving all the Uchiha clan members confused. The tribe is leaderless and has no choice but to surrender. Sure enough, teacher Tobirama is better than that Uchiha Izuna, and he severely injured the opponent in a short time. This time, Senju Tobirama did not agree with Danzo, but shook his head and replied, strictly speaking, I and Izuna are on par in terms of physical strength. In that battle, if I hadn't saved the Flying Thunder God, I wouldn't have been able to seriously injure him in a short period of time. If he hadn't died afterwards and had seen the Flying Thunder God again, it would be hard to say whether he would win or lose in another fight. Senju Tobirama hates the Uchiha clan, not only because too many people died in the battle between the two clans, but also because the other party was mentally unstable, especially after he established a village and became Hokage. Tobirama became even more wary of the Uchiha clan. After all, no one knows when the Uchiha clan will become ill. It's very difficult to deal with ordinary mental patients. Not to mention that the Uchiha clan are pretty strong. With such a time bomb in the village, no one would be able to bear it. That's why, after his eldest brother died, he used the police department as a bait to let Uchiha exchange clan territory with several small peripheral families. Doing so kills two birds with one stone. First, he left the offending job of the police department to Uchiha. Secondly, the Uchiha clan was placed on the periphery, gradually excluding them from the center of power in the village. He didn't know that after a few decades, Konoha village had developed very well. The village's area had expanded a lot, and the Uchiha clan could no longer be considered peripheral. It's a pity that the Ninetales rebellion broke out, and the Uchiha clan was once again sent to the periphery by the third Hokage. It can only be said that it is fate. Of course, Senju Tobirama doesn't know these things yet. At this time, he was only wary of the Uchiha clan, but he did not kill them all. After all, they are members of the village, and their fighting power is also needed by the village. As for Senna's strength, he admitted that it was indeed very strong. Ever since they were young, the battles between him and Izuna have been as good as 80, and he has the most say in the opponent's strength. Of course, in his heart, he still thinks that he is better than Izuna. He can invent various ninjutsu, but Izuna can't. In the final battle, he was able to kill the opponent with the flying thunder god he invented, which is enough to prove that he is stronger than the opponent. Later, before Uchiha Madara took away Izuna's eyes and obtained the eternal kaleidoscope, the Uchiha clan had reached a truce agreement with the Senju clan. During this period, Uchiha tribesmen gradually surrendered. To be fair, when Uchiha Madara returns again, he will not be far away from the polished commander. However, our honest boy Hashirama stayed with Madara, who turned on the eternal kaleidoscope for a day and a night. After Madara falls, Tobirama prepares to hit the target. At this time, Tobirama wanted to take advantage of Uchiha Madara's weakness to get rid of this thorn in his side. Hashirama became very angry and decisively stopped him. Tobirama was shocked by this wave of sexy moves. Tobirama was forced by Hashirama's power and did not dare to take action. Intimidation. The corners of Tobirama's mouth twitched and he said nothing. Sarutobi Hiruzen and Shimura Danzo covered their mouths and snickered. They thought Lin Tian was very interesting and too daring to speak. The word powerful not only teased Hashirama, but also Tobirama. Is this killing two birds with one stone? Madara continues to make unreasonable demands relying on Hashirama's favor. Hamper. Well, even Uchiha Madara didn't escape Lin Tian's poisonous mouth this time. The two of them immediately felt that this video looked so interesting. The content of the requirement is that one of Hashirama and Tobirama must die before Madara can reconcile with the Senju clan. After hearing this request, Tobirama's mentality began to change. Because Tobirama really doubted that Hashirama would kill his brother for Madara. My brother may want to kill me for my childhood sweetheart. If you have any ideas, please help me. I'm waiting online very urgently. This time Tobirama's mouth didn't twitch, but he put his right hand on his forehead and let out a sigh. Don't tell me, you really don't want to say that. Tobirama was really a little worried at that time that his brother would do something to him. Fortunately, my brother finally got his IQ online and used the bitter meat trick to defeat Madara. Otherwise, even if he is not hacked to death by his brother, he will probably suffer the consequences. Chapter 12 Tobirama, I am the godfather of the ninja world. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Fortunately, Hashirama did not choose to attack his brother. He decided to commit suicide to save his brother and gay friend. You are a small self-propelled sacred tree who committed suicide with a kunai. Who are you trying to fool? In the end, Uchiha Madara, who had never experienced any tricks, was moved by Hashirama's behavior, and the two sides built Konoha together. Boss Tobirama is still strong under the debuff halo of these two Kadi monsters. Tobirama is really a tough guy, and Lu Shuei's younger brother. This time Sarutobi Hiruzen couldn't hold it back and burst out laughing. The video mentioned the ironclad Tobirama, but he hadn't reacted at the time. Now hearing this again, he finally reacted. The tough brother, if teacher Tobirama hadn't been there, he would have laughed 3 times. Laugh if you want to, don't hold it in. Hearing this, Sarutobi Hiruzen actually laughed a few times, which made Danzo on the side also smile inexplicably. Are you done laughing? Don't leave after watching the video for a while. I want to test your current strength. No, teacher, this has nothing to do with me. Danzo was shocked when he heard that he and Hiruzen were going to test their strength. It was obviously the bastard Hiruzen who was laughing wildly over there, so why did Tobirama-sensei bring him along? Alas, what a disaster. I just feel that I haven't tested your strength for a long time, so I might as well go to the training ground after a while. Don't think too much. I don't want to teach you two a lesson for what happened just now. Really, you teachers, you have to believe me. I believe you. Helplessly, Tobirama's power was too strong, and the two of them dared not speak out in anger, so they could only roll their eyes wildly. As the two most powerful families join forces, the ninja world gradually stabilizes. The long-term war with Uchiha made Tobirama know the nature of the Sharingan. Therefore, he has always been wary of the Uchiha clan, and Tobirama often disturbed Hashirama and Madara's dates like an old mother, which made the scene very embarrassing. After the founding of Konoha, Hashirama proposed that Madara be the Hokage. Tobirama immediately objected and told Hashirama the nature of the Sharingan. He also told Hashirama that the position of Hokage must be elected by the people, and the general public opinion at that time also recommended Hashirama as Hokage. Uchiha's power in Konoha itself cannot be compared with Senju. Even in the Uchiha clan, not many people trust Uchiha Madara. After Uchiha Madara overheard these words, he found a time to run away from home. When Uchiha Madara, the irritated little wife, returned again, she brought Kyuubi with her and fought with Hashirama in the Valley of the End. At that time, Hashirama seemed to have been having sex with Mito. After Uchiha Madara was stabbed by Hashirama, Konoha naturally took over the Kyuubi and was sealed in Mito's body. Konoha, who accidentally gathered several tailed beasts, held the first 5 Kage conference. During the meeting, Hashirama saw the hope of peace and was so excited that he lowered his posture in the venue. There was even a proposal to distribute tailed beasts for free. On the screen, Senju Hashirama kowtowed to the shadows of the other 4 villages. Seeing this image, Shimura Danzo subconsciously frowned and snorted. He knew that the first Hokage was very naive and simple, but this was too much. How should I put it? Upright? Honest? Naturally cute? None of them seem right, but no matter what, Danzo believed that the first Hokage of Konoha was the strongest in the ninja world at that time, and there was no need for him to act so cowardly. This is so embarrassing to Konoha. In fact, Senju Tobirama was also very dissatisfied with his brother's low profile. But who calls him his brother? What else can I do besides pampering him? Therefore, Senju Tobirama didn't say anything in response to Danzo's snort. I just secretly made a decision to give Danzo a little strength when he tests his strength later, so that he can know what awe is. Tobirama, is my brother something that a rebellious disciple like you can hum? Danzo. Tobirama looked at his brother's eye-catching negotiation skills and ability, and was disgusted to death, so he promptly proposed the condition of exchanging money for the tailed beast. This wave of operations all reflects Tobirama's diplomatic skills, and he doesn't forget to make a big profit while throwing away the tailed beast. The meeting ended perfectly according to Hashirama's vision. The ninja world was so harmonious under Hashirama's violent output that no one dared to commit suicide. Yes, with Big Brother suppressing the entire ninja world, who dares to jump out and seek death? Thinking of the peace in the ninja world when Hashirama was alive, and thinking about the ninja war that broke out in the ninja world immediately after his death, the two extreme realities made Tobirama understand that his brother's ideal was completely impossible to realize. I don't know how peace emerged in Lin Tian's world. The peace gradually disappears as Hashirama receives the lunchbox. On the eve of the first ninja war, shortly after Hashirama passed away, Tobirama became the second Hokage. He is famous in the ninja world for his outstanding fighting power, military strategist's brains, and his cheating tricks. During the Warring States period and the First Ninja War, he enjoyed the title of the First Godly Speed. After Tobirama succeeded as the second-generation Hokage, he also showed superb political skills in order to solve internal and external troubles. He first established the Konoha police force, and the main positions were all performed by Uchiha clan members. This not only gave the clan a lot of face, but also allowed them to observe Uchiha's every move. Tobirama also established an ANBU, under the direct command of the Hokage, to consolidate the authority of the leadership. The Konoha Ninja School was also established to cultivate combat capabilities that can protect the future of the village. The practices above Tobirama were imitated by ninja villages in other countries and had a profound impact on the ninja world. It is not an exaggeration to say that he is the godfather of the ninja world. My dear, it turns out that you are so powerful, teacher. Sarutobi Hiruzen only knew that Tobirama was a very strong teacher and his methods of managing the village were also superb. He never thought that many things in other ninja villages were copied from their teacher's ideas. Those hateful guys, especially Kyuubi, just learned our stuff without paying tuition and dared to start a war with us. What a bunch of bastards. Danzo and Hiruzen have similar cognitions. Only after watching this video did he realize that teacher Tobirama was so great. It's just that other villages are too shameless. After learning Konoha's things, you still dare to fight against Konoha. This is not only shameless but also despicable. Tobirama didn't reply, just smiled calmly. It can be seen that he is very satisfied with the title of Godfather of the Ninja world mentioned by Lin Tian. Some time later, in the First Ninja War, Tobirama, as the second-generation Hokage of the Land of Fire, and the second-generation Raikage of the Land of Thunder. Seeing this, Tobirama stopped smiling and secretly said, "Here it comes." Chapter 13 Stupid. You are listening at novelfull.audio. At the alliance ceremony, they were attacked by the Gold and Silver brothers who launched a rebellion. At this time, Tobirama retreated to the woods with several students. There were only 7 people including Tobirama. And Tobirama judged that there were 20 enemies, and they were all elite members of the Kyuubi Golden Horn Force. In order for the students to ambush the enemy's Golden Horn and Silver Horn troops and create a breakthrough for their escape, Tobirama decided to use himself as bait to involve the enemy. Before the action, after handing over the position of the third Hokage to Hiruzen Sarutobi, he went to meet the enemy alone. I feel like this is a bit of a forced intelligence plot killing. It felt like, "Yo Tobirama, it's time for you to get your lunchbox," and then Tobirama said, "Okay, but the person who sabotages me can't be an unknown person." In the end, Tobirama died in the hands of 2 boys under the Supreme Lord in Journey to the West. Actually, there is no problem for Tobirama to escape on his own, but he can't help himself in the world. His mission is to protect Danzo's group of students, and at the same time forcefully push a wave of will of fire to protect the future flames of Konoha and elect a new Hokage. So the plot requires that he has to die. So it's me who died like this. Seeing the way he died, Tobirama didn't have any inexplicable feelings, he just felt that he was too arrogant on the light screen. Kyuubi and Konoha were not friendly villages for generations. Signing a peace treaty with the enemy, he only brought a few of his students with him. What about ANBU? Where are Konoha's ninja troops? None of these. Such arrogance is simply stupid. Tobirama refused to admit that the idiot on the light screen was him. As Lin Tian said, this is a bit plot-killing, forcibly reducing his intelligence. In his opinion, if he went to sign a peace treaty, he would either take no one with him, and he could use the Flying Thunder God to escape if something happened, or lead an army there to prevent the radicals in Yunin village from having other ideas. What about myself on the light screen? There were only 6 students, to put it mildly. These 6 students are a liability. Run away. They can't run away. When facing the enemy, they cannot defeat them. Under such circumstances, it would be unjustifiable for him not to die. I'm sorry, teacher, it's us who have dragged you down. Sarutobi Hiruzen blamed himself. He blamed himself for his poor strength, which caused the teacher to cut them off, and ultimately sacrificed himself. Tobirama's eyes flickered for a few times before he said, "It's okay, the teacher won't blame you." As for this guy Danzo, after hearing Tobirama hand over the position of the third Hokage to Hiruzen, he has been in a state of silence. At this moment, he really wanted to ask Tobirama-sensei, why is he inferior to Hiruzen? Why did he give the position of the third Hokage to him and not to me? Is it because of strength? Danzo felt that he and Hiruzen were evenly matched in terms of strength, and if they really had to fight, it would be possible for either one to win. Is that because of the brain? Don't be ridiculous, Hiruzen is so stupid, he is not as smart as Danzo, so, what's the reason? Danzo clenched his hands and looked at Hiruzen's back with gritted teeth. He did not dare to question Senju Tobirama, so he could only transfer his anger to Sarutobi Hiruzen. Danzo, just wait Hiruzen, this time I will definitely prove that I am smarter and stronger than you. Sarutobi Hiruzen was still immersed in self-blame for killing his teacher, and did not notice the changes in Danzo. However, Senju Tobirama knew his students very well, and he had been secretly observing Danzo. Seeing his appearance, Senju Tojian couldn't help but sigh secretly. I feel that Danzo, who has a darker mind, is indeed not suitable to be the third Hokage. Likewise, the currently naive Sarutobi Hiruzen is not suitable, but if you really have to choose one between the two, Sarutobi Hiruzen is more suitable. Of course, this is just the history shown in the light curtain image. In reality, Tobirama didn't think he would die there. Since he won't die in a short time, there is no rush in choosing the third Hokage. It was the plot needs that Lin Tian mentioned that made Tobirama think deeply. As smart as he is, he already knew from many clues that he might be a character in a certain work. By the way, at the beginning of the video, Lin Tian said that he was most familiar with Naruto. It seems that I am this character in Naruto. Knowing this, Senju Tobirama was frustrated and happy at the same time. He was frustrated because he and everything in the ninja world were created by others. His thoughts, his talents, and his strength are all just settings in the work. He was happy because with the appearance of the light curtain, he had the opportunity to break his original destiny. As long as you can change your own destiny, that is to say, you will be completely out of the control of that person, the author of this work. The gold-horned and silver-horned brothers of Yunin village. Wash your neck and wait for me. Tobirama was sneering, and the light curtain continued. After Tobirama's death, after the 6 surviving students returned to Konoha village, one of them, Sarutobi Hiruzen, followed the second Hokage Tobirama's last words and logically succeeded him as the third Hokage. At the same time, Hiruzen also teamed up with his good friend Danzo, the Scapegoat King, to become Konoha's one light and one dark, and managed the Konoha village to appear peaceful. Isn't that right? What does it mean to be peaceful on the surface? Could it be that the Leaf village under Danzo and I is very dark secretly? Sarutobi Hiruzen couldn't accept what Lin Tian said about superficial peace, but I have no objection to the words good gay friends. In his heart, he always considered Danzo to be his good friend and brother. Not only Danzo, but Koharu and Mito Menon are also his good friends and brothers. According to his assumptions, if he becomes the third generation Hokage, he will definitely let these good brothers help him. As long as they unite as one, Konoha village will definitely get better and better. It was just the commentary on the light screen that made Hiruzen Sarutobi suspicious. Can he and his friends really manage Konoha village? This kid must be talking nonsense. I can't be the one taking the blame. Sarutobi Hiruzen was doubting himself, and Danzo couldn't accept it either. He couldn't accept the title of the blame-taking king at all. Wait, one light and one dark. Taking the blame. This Ming must be Hiruzen as Hokage, so I am this Een. Danzo's brain was relatively easy to use when he was young. The Hokage is the leader of the village and it is easy for him to do some dirty work, but someone must do these things. In other words, he is responsible for doing the dirty work. Since he is the one who does the dirty work, it is logical that he should take the blame. Thinking of this, Danzo glared at Hiruzen fiercely and cursed angrily. You damn monkey, the benefits are yours, and the blame is mine. Is this how you treat a good friend? Danzo. Me. Okay, let's stop arguing now. If you have anything to say, we'll talk about it later. Chapter 14 Tobirama, I invented the dirt reincarnation. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Lin Tian's explanation was understandable to Hiruzen and Danzo, so Tobirama could understand it too. He was just a little strange. Logically speaking, Hiruzen had a bottom line and ideals, while Danzo had strength but a bit of a dark idea. The two of them were the light and the dark of the village, which was indeed a good configuration. As long as Hiruzen could restrain Danzo, the two of them would work together to make the village more prosperous. So, where did Danzo, the Scapegoat King, who was obviously not a good title, come from? Could it be that Hiruzen often gave Danzo the blame? The question was too much, and Tobirama thought he should watch the video first and think about it slowly afterwards. When the third Hokage was 69 years old, his androgynous rebellious ninja apprentice Orochimaru led his subordinates to join forces with the Sand Village ninjas to implement a plan to participate in the Chunin exam on the surface but actually attack Konoha. Seeing this, Tobirama raised his eyebrows, looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen who was still doubting himself, and said nothing. Danzo was happy to complain, "Ha, dead monkey, you actually have a traitor apprentice, and you lead the Sand Village to attack Konoha. After you die, how can you face the first generation and the ancestors in the village? If I were you, I would never become the third generation Hokage. You don't have that ability, do you know?" Hearing Danzo's words, Sarutobi Hiruzen recovered a little, sneered and replied, "I don't have the ability. Do you have it? I won't agree to you becoming Hokage. Damn, dead monkey, you will regret it." "Shut up Danzo, I am the light, you are just the dark." Just a moment later, Danzo started to quarrel again. This time, Sarutobi Hiruzen did not indulge him, and gave a sharper reply, adding an invisible crack to the friendship between the two. Tobirama on the side did not interfere with the quarrel between the two. "I really don't want to care, as long as he doesn't die, the two can't make any waves." At this moment, he was concentrating on the picture on the light screen, trying to see what difference the village would have after several decades. After the Chunin exam was forced to be suspended, Orochimaru fought against the third Hokage. During this period, Orochimaru used the imperfect reincarnation to summon the two former Hokage, Tobirama and Hashirama, to assist him in the battle. Orochimaru inserted a spell into the heads of the two Hokage, completely erasing their will. In this way, Tobirama and Hashirama became emotionless puppets, ready to beat up their former students, the third Hokage. This is the first time Tobirama appeared in Naruto. Although Orochimaru's reincarnation was not complete at that time. Tobirama, what is Orochimaru's reincarnation? I invented this ninjutsu. But we can still see that this brother Tobirama, who has made a contract with the sea, shows those impressive strengths. Before the old setting was completely dead, that is, in the first part of Naruto, the two people who played with water seriously were Zabuza and Kisame from the Hidden Mist village. They all had sex with Kakashi in the water and played passionately. When Zabuza and Kakashi fought for the first time, both sides forced each other to use a wave of 44 seals of water dragon bullets and made a heart shape, and this was in a place with water. When Kisame and Kakashi fought against each other for the first time, the two also used water from the Konoha River. Even when the setting was still so strict, Tobirama's outstanding feature was that he could create a swimming pool in a place without water. As an aside, I think Tobirama and Hashirama have a bright future even if they don't become Hokage. Build a wooden villa with a swimming pool on site, and find daimyo from the 5 major countries to sell it. Sell one villa and build one villa. Naruto can be directly played into a daily story of ninja re-employment. This kid is really bold. Seeing this, Tobirama couldn't help but smile. If the ninja world had been peaceful when he and his elder brother were born, without war and fighting, it would not be impossible for him and his elder brother to be a construction site leader. However, the ninja world has never been peaceful since ancient times. The power of him and his elder brother still has to fight for the peace of the ninja world. As for the first appearance mentioned above, the old settings and new settings, Tobirama no longer cares. With the help of the light curtain, he has been reborn and is no longer a puppet character in a certain work. It was Orochimaru, the rebel ninja, who attracted Tobirama's attention. He was able to learn his impure world reincarnation and thought of using talismans to control him and his elder brother. This talent is not weak, I just don't know why such a talent would become a rebel ninja. Back to the plot. Tobirama, without self-awareness, faced the elderly third Hokage. On a rooftop, the third Hokage faced his former teacher and recalled the beatings he received in his school days. The third Hokage was a little shy for a moment, and with his full thoughts for his two elders, he sprayed a wave of fire dragon bullets without hesitation, intending to burn the two opponents into a red and fiery trance. Faced with the third Hokage's tearful welcome, the impure Tobirama used a water formation wall to offset the third Hokage's attack. At this time, Tobirama and the elderly Hiruzen were seen fighting on the light screen. Danzo and Hiruzen stopped arguing and began to look at the light screen seriously. At this time, the two guys watching the movie on the side exclaimed that the second generation could actually release a lot of water when there was no water. I want to be a fan of him. A brief mention here is that although the setting of the technique of reincarnation from the dirty land has a positive bonus to the state of recovery, it cannot compare with the strength of the reincarnated person in his lifetime. What's more, at this time, the reincarnation of the earth is still in an undeveloped state. After Tobirama parried the fire dragon bullet, he used a water blast that looked like a human fountain, intending to make the third generation wet. Faced with the rushing water, Sandai spat out a mouthful of old black phlegm in time, and successfully blocked it by building a high wall with earth currents. The roof at this time was directly transformed into an open-air swimming pool by the two of them. The daily story of ninja re-employment has added the Sandame, a general. When the roof was filled with water, Tobirama quietly dived into the water and pulled Sandai down by his head. The Sandame was overwhelmed by the water for a moment, but when he thought that his teacher was giving him a loving hug, he couldn't bear it, so he quickly broke away and escaped to the earth flow wall. Tobirama, who was in the water, saw this and fired several high-pressure water cannons, forcing the water wall to collapse. After that, the three of them were fighting each other, while Orochimaru fished on the edge. Later, Tobirama's head was exploded by the monkey demon summoned by the third generation, and one of his hands was blown off by the detonating talisman attached to the third generation. Chapter 15 The End of the Second Period of Inventory. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Hiruzen, it seems that your strength is still good even when you are old. You can actually fight against Tobirama-sensei's dirty earth body. Looking at the battle between Sarutobi Hiruzen and Senju Tobirama on the light screen, Danzo couldn't help but sneer. On the surface, he was praising Hiruzen, but in reality, he was hurting him. You, the real third Hokage, can't even defeat the weakened puppet second Hokage, how dare you still be the Hokage? Sarutobi Hiruzen also understood Danzo's meaning, but he ignored it. Instead, he looked at himself fighting the first and second generations on the light screen with brilliant eyes. In the same scene, Danzo saw him being pressed down and beaten by the first and second generations who came out of the dirt, but he saw that at the age of 69, he could still compete with the first and second generations. This illustrates how strong he was at his peak. Sarutobi Hiruzen clenched his fists and said to himself with a firm expression, "From today on, I will practice harder." Tobirama had one of his hands blown off by the third generation's detonating talisman. However, due to the effect of the reincarnation of the dirty soil, the broken arm was quickly restored. When the battle heated up, Tobirama used the illusion, dark walking technique to block the third generation's sight. The third generation, whose vision was blocked, had a bit of a breakdown. He was wondering if God had hidden the curtain in front of his eyes and forgot to lift it. After receiving a few beatings, the Sandame considered that the body of the reincarnated body could not be killed by conventional methods, so he used the ghoul seal to seal the souls of the two Hokage and Orochimaru's hands together. Before his soul was dragged away, Tobirama said apologetically, "I have caused you trouble." "But Tobirama, what does the slightly raised corners of your mouth with a bit of pride mean?" "This is obviously true, disciple, I have caused you trouble. But what can you do to me?" Senju Tobirama. I didn't, don't talk nonsense." In the end, the Sandame also died due to the effect of the corpse seal. According to the timeline, when Tobirama appeared again it was already during the Fourth Ninja War. So, just like the last video of taking inventory of Hashirama, we won't comment. Okay, that's the content of this video. As I said before, press and hold to like. Click 3 times in succession. See you in the next issue. As Lin Tian's words fell, the picture on the light screen also disappeared. Senju Tobirama nodded without hesitation, then quickly opened the drawer on his desk, took out a piece of paper and wrote something on it. After he finished writing, he gave the note and a piece of gold as a reward. "I hope you can bring me away to peace." Whispering to himself, Senju Tobirama turned his attention to the two disciples, Sarutobi Hiruzen and Shimura Danzo. Danzo still looked at Hiruzen with an unhappy expression. Hiruzen seemed to have recovered from the blow, and there was even a smile on his lips. Tobirama nodded secretly. Hiruzen was indeed his first choice for the third Hokage. Danzo was still immersed in jealousy and anger that Hiruzen had become Hokage. Looking back at Hiruzen, he already understood the path he was going to take next. The competition between the two is clear at a glance. Okay, now that you've finished watching the video, it's time for my teacher to love and care for you. Danzo was shocked when he heard this. Only then did he remember that teacher Tobirama wanted to test his and Hiruzen's strength. He said it was a test, but in fact he just wanted to find a reason to beat them both up. Danzo is very certain about this. He quickly winked at Hiruzen, signaling him to say something nice to Mr. Tobirama and ask him to be gentler later. The results of it? He saw that Hiruzen, instead of saying anything soft, actually looked at Mr. Tobirama with a fighting look on his face. Hey Hiruzen, you are so old and confused at such a young age. Don't think that you can have a back-and-forth fight with Tobirama-sensei in the light curtain video. In reality, you can have a close fight with Tobirama-sensei. If you really want to be beaten, don't hold me back. Seeing Sarutobi Hiruzen's fighting spirit, Danzo was very dissatisfied at first, but after thinking about it, he felt that this was fine. With Hiruzen in front as a human shield, he should be able to take less beatings, probably. The result of the battle between the three masters and apprentices was obvious. Tobirama knocked them down without much effort. They were also beaten down, but the difference was that Danzo looked depressed, while Hiruzen looked refreshed and comfortable. If Danzo hadn't been the one who personally participated in the fight, he might have thought that Hiruzen had gone to some kind of romantic place. It's just that the other person's expression is too weird. This is the first time I heard that someone can show a comfortable expression after being beaten. Could it be, with a thought? Danzo thought of some possibility, and looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen with eyes full of disgust and wariness. Okay, I probably know your current strength as a teacher. There's some progress, but not much. You still have to keep working hard. Danzo and Hiruzen, yes, teacher. Senju Tobirama already knew the cause of his death, so he had no intention of continuing to hang on to the Union village envoys. With his permission, this negotiation went smoothly. In order to express Kimura's sincerity in signing a peace treaty, the signing location was set in the country of lightning. At the same time, in order to paralyze the other party, this location is actually not far from the border, and he can escape smoothly if an accident occurs. The people in the envoy group must be aware of this. They don't care. After all, the second-generation Raikage really wants to sign a peace treaty. Even if the location is set in the country of fire, he will take the initiative to go there. As long as both parties reach an agreement, there will be no accidents. As for the time, let's set it in the morning 10 days later. How about it? Hearing this, the envoys discussed with each other and felt that there was no problem. It takes some time for them to return to the village, and it takes some time for the village to prepare, and it takes some time to rush to the signing location. To be honest, 10 days is still a bit tight. If possible, they want to add 2 days, but Tobirama's meaning is very clear. Just 10 days, one more day is not okay. The envoys don't understand why they can't have one more day, but things have come to this point, and they are not too insistent. As long as they can successfully complete the task assigned to them by the second-generation Raikage, 10 days is 10 days. Teacher, why don't you give them 1 or 2 more days to prepare? After the Kyumogakure delegation left, Sarutobi Hiruzen asked his question. Because I don't want to miss the time when the light curtain appears. Tobirama said it very clearly. Half a month, that is, the night of the 15th day, the light curtain should appear. According to Lin Tian, it is to add an extra video. This time, if nothing unexpected happens, the other party should answer the question written on his note. Therefore, Tobirama must reserve enough time to rush back to the village. If it is just him, it is nothing. He can use Flying Thunder God to return to the village. But Sarutobi Hiruzen can't do it. He can only use his legs to rush. He has not given up training Hiruzen. At least, at this stage, there is really no one more suitable for the position of the third-generation Hokage than Monkey. Chapter 16 Tobirama's Note. You are listening at novelfull.audio. If Senju Tobirama's Flying Thunder God technique can be further improved, maybe he can flash back to Konoha with Sarutobi Hiruzen and other students. Unfortunately, his use of the Flying Thunder God technique has not yet reached that level. This technique can only be used on himself. After watching the Yunin village envoys leave, Senju Tobirama returned to Senju Mansion without stopping. This is the clan land of the Thousand Hands clan, and it should have been bustling with people. Just because Senju Hashirama wanted to integrate his family into the village, he ordered the Senju clan to give up the name Senju and live randomly in the village. Today in Konoha, except for one person named Senju Tobirama, no one has the surname Senju anymore. Even the names of Tsunade and Naoki in the formula book did not bear the Senju surname. It was just that they were members of the Senju clan. Senju Tobirama didn't know whether his elder brother's idea was right or wrong. He just felt that there seemed to be something wrong with this idea from the video shown on the light screen. A rebellious ninja can lead the ninjas of Sunagakure village to subvert Konoha. Isn't this a big problem? If the Senju clan had not been disbanded, Senju Tobirama believed that even if Sunagakure had 10 courages, he would not dare to attack Konoha. Wait a minute, the Senju clan has been disbanded, but isn't there still the Uchiha clan? Could it be that after a few decades, the Uchiha clan will also wither? Even if the Uchiha clan is gone, what about the other ninja families? That it was completely unimaginable for Senju Tobirama to be invaded by ninjas from other villages. Frowning, the more he thought about it, the more he felt that Konoha would have a big problem in a few decades. Fortunately, decades are still a long time, and I have every chance to avoid that situation. Shaking his head, Senju Tobirama calmed down and entered the mansion where his eldest brother lived. He came here not to remember his elder brother, but to see his sister-in-law, the nine-tailed Jinchuriki Uzumaki Mito. Tobirama, you haven't seen me for a while. I'm sorry, sister-in-law, I've been busy lately. Because of the existence of the Yin seal, even though Uzumaki Mito is almost 50 years old, there is not a single wrinkle on his face. Just from appearance, she looks like a young girl. Tell me what you want to do with me. Mito poured Tobirama a cup of tea. She still knew something about Hashirama's younger brother Tobirama. He usually won't come to me when he knows that nothing is wrong. Something must have happened this time. In front of Mito, Tobirama didn't hesitate. After taking a sip of tea, he said, I hope you can take action in 10 days. A move? Is it the move I thought? Yes. Seeing Tobirama nodding, Mito still felt strange, but she didn't ask any more questions. The Hokage told her to take action, then take action. It just so happened that she hadn't moved her hands for a long time, so she took this opportunity to stretch her muscles. That's probably what happened. That's it, I understand. Okay, sister-in-law, I'll take my leave now. After leaving Hashirama's house, Senju Tobirama went to the clans of several ninja families. Judging from his expression afterwards, this conversation with several families went smoothly. The great gift has been prepared for you. It depends on whether you in Yunin village can eat it or not. Earth, NJ City, with a savings of more than 200,000 yuan, Lin Tian has been living very comfortably recently. Today he is going to find some friends to come out and have a good gathering. Just when he was about to call to make an appointment, he first received a call from the courier. A Tian, right? I have your express delivery and I'll put it at the express delivery station for you. Okay master, just put it there first. Like last time, he didn't buy anything online. At this time, his first reaction after receiving the express delivery was that another fan had sent him a gift. Last time it was a piece of gold, I don't know what it is this time. Curious about the gift, Lin Tian quickly went downstairs and got the express delivery. When he returned to the room and opened the express delivery, he was still stunned subconsciously when he saw another piece of gold. What's going on? Does this fan have a gold mine at home? He always sends me gold. Looking at the sender's name, Lin Tian couldn't help but twitch the corner of his mouth. This guy who likes Os Senju Tobirama is really a wealthy person. This is already the second piece of gold. According to the price of the previous piece of gold, this gold nugget of similar size should be worth more than 200,000 yuan. He, Lin Tian, never dreamed that he would earn more than 400,000 yuan just by doing 2 issues of character inventory on Naruto. This is not making a video, this is clearly making money. Hey, what's written on this note? Lin Tian, who was quite excited, took the gold nugget out of the package and saw the note pressed by the gold nugget. When he opened the note, he saw some neon words written on it, which even Lin Tian couldn't understand. This boss is too into the drama. He writes a note in neon script. After complaining, Lin Tian used the translation software on his mobile phone to scan the neon text on the note. Tian, please tell me what we need to do to achieve peace in the ninja world. TSK, this seems like a question Senju Tobirama will ask after watching the video. It's just that peace in the ninja world has nothing to do with me. I'm just an ordinary person making an inventory video. Having said that, Lin Tian decided to answer his question for the sake of the big man's reward of 2 pieces of gold. Not to mention, at a certain period of time, he really thought about how to bring peace to the entire ninja world. Well, I want to think about this extra video carefully. While Lin Tian was thinking about the extra video, on the ninja world side, Senju Tobirama had arrived alone at the place where the peace treaty was signed. As expected of the second Hokage of Konoha village, you have so much courage to come here alone. Senju Tobirama arrived at the location and didn't wait long before the second-generation Raikage AI appeared in front of him with several guards. Among the guards, he looked emphatically at Golden Horn and Silver Horn, who had blonde hair and silver hair. After all, in the original history, he died in the hands of 2 people. So, do you want to try and kill me here? Hearing this, the second-generation Raikage burst out laughing, and then said, how is it possible? Since you are so sincere, I, the second-generation Raikage, am not a villain, and I cannot do such a despicable things. After speaking, he clapped his hands and motioned to the boys behind him to take out the pre-written contract. At the same time, Senju Tobirama also took out a scroll. The terms of the peace treaty were also written on the scroll. Tobirama and the other party exchanged scrolls and looked at each other. After a while, Tobirama said to the second-generation Raikage, I am not very satisfied with the compensation. Chapter 17 The Death of the Second-Generation Raikage. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Tobirama lied because no matter what the other party's contract looked like or what terms it had, he would never be satisfied. This is only to further make the other party think that he is really interested in peace talks, rather than having any conspiracy. Oh. The Hokage can tell you your conditions. The second-generation Raikage did not show any surprise and seemed very calm. He understood that his contract was indeed biased towards his own village. After all, it was a contract that passed through his hands, so it was normal for it to be biased towards his own village. Of course, it's normal for the other party to have opinions. As long as both parties are willing to sign a peace treaty, conditions are never an issue. I think that Tobirama spent a long time here with the second-generation Raikage. Either they were dissatisfied with the terms of compensation, or they were dissatisfied with the amount of money to redeem the other party's captives. In short, in order not to make the other party suspicious, he was not satisfied with anything. Faced with Tobirama's dissatisfaction, the second-generation Raikage patiently explained and negotiated on the sidelines. The entire negotiation lasted from morning to afternoon. Finally, the 2 sides reached an agreement on these treaties and could formally sign them. Kyuubi acted very quickly, and the redrafted contract was finalized in a short time. Nidame Hokage, if there are no problems, we can sign it. No problem. Taking the pen handed over by the other party, Tobirama signed his name on the contract. The same goes for the second Raikage. After signing, the 2 parties exchanged the contract, which means that the contract has come into effect. Now that the contract has been signed, would Hokage-sama want to visit our hidden cloud village? No need, I have something to do over there. Really? That's such a shame. That I don't know if it was true or false, but the second-generation Raikage actually sighed after hearing that Tobirama was not going to Kyuubi. Behind him, Jinjiao also sighed and said, indeed, it's a pity. After saying that, the 2 of them suddenly put their hands into Raikage's chest, one on the left and the other on the right. Jinjiao squeezed the Raikage's heart with his hand. TSK, the dignified second-generation Raikage died here so cowardly. The Raikage is dead and the contract is void. Ginkaku picked up the contract he had just signed and tore it up in front of the Kyuubi ninjas and Tobirama. Hokage-sama, if you agreed to Raikage-sama's request, we 2 brothers wouldn't have to do anything here. Senju Tobirama almost laughed at this shameless statement. So, do you think that my failure to agree to the second Raikage's visit to Cloud Hidden Village is the culprit that caused him to die here? Certainly. Jinjiao and Injiao nodded shamelessly. You do not say. If Senju Tobirama agreed to be a guest, then the Raikage would definitely not die here, but in the village. Okay, enough talking. Then, please invite the Nidaime Hokage-sama to die together with our Raikage-sama. Superior. As soon as Jinjiao Injiao finished speaking, a large number of Kyuubi ninjas suddenly appeared in the pile of rocks to the east of the negotiation site. It was obvious that the assassination of Raikage by Golden Horn and Silver Horn was not a whim, but a long-planned plan. The second Raikage is a person who doesn't know people well. Senju Tobirama saw many Kyuubi ninjas rushing towards him, but he didn't run away immediately, but sighed like this, knowing that the Gold and Silver Horn brothers were the main militant faction and did not agree to sign a peace treaty with Konoha. He brought them to the signing place. Just bring it with you, don't take precautions yet. Are you saying that he is stupid, or that he is overconfident? But it doesn't matter, it's time for me to retreat. Having said that, Senju Tobirama formed a seal with his hands and fired a powerful water escape ninjutsu towards Kyuubi's large army. Water release, water dragon bullet technique. A huge water dragon formed by the water flow appeared in the air and rushed towards the opponent. Earth release, earth current wall. The characteristics of Yunin village are thunder escape and ninjutsu, but it doesn't mean that none of them know other escape techniques, just like the previous Hokages of Konoha village were not good at fire escape ninjutsu. Laugh. Hurry up and chase me. Senju Tobirama's water dragon bullet slightly delayed Kyuubi's ninja. Taking advantage of this opportunity, Senju Tobirama started running towards the land of fire without looking back. Seeing this, the brothers Golden Horn and Silver Horn waved their hands and led the Kyuubi ninjas in pursuit. How about that one of Senju Tobirama's titles is called the First Divine Speed? In addition to Flying Thunder God, his teleportation technique is also very good. With all his strength, most people in the ninja world couldn't catch up with him. Fortunately, his purpose was not to escape, but to hook the Golden Horn and Silver Horn troops and let them pursue him. In order to prevent the other party from losing sight of him, he would slow down from time to time, or suddenly shoot a ninjutsu from behind. Lord Jinjiao Injiao, something seems to be wrong. There are smart people in the pursuit team. After once again resisting Tobirama's water bullets and obtaining the traces of the opponent, the man couldn't help but try to persuade him. What's wrong? Jinjiao Injiao was very excited. After killing the Raikage in a sneak attack, the ninjas in the village would definitely not obey the two brothers, but the situation would be different if the Hokage was killed again. First, this is murder and framing. As long as they kill the second-generation Hokage, the eyewitness, they can turn around and say that the Raikage was killed by the Hokage. Secondly, after killing the Hokage, they can return to the village as heroes, and the prestige of the two brothers will overwhelm all opposition. Therefore, as long as they can kill the second-generation Hokage, the two brothers will have the final say in the Hidden Cloud Village from now on. With this idea, the two brothers were too excited on the way to chasing Senju Tobirama, and they didn't think about why the other party dared to come alone, and why they didn't use the famous Flying Thunder God technique to escape, but used the Instant Body technique to escape. Moreover, every once in a while, when they were about to lose each other's trace, they could always find each other inexplicably. It felt like Senju Tobirama was fishing. Okay, you don't need to say it, I think I understand it. At this time, Kinkaku's IQ once again occupied the high ground. He and his younger brother Yinkaku were just a little irritable, not really idiots. With his men's reminder, he reacted immediately. It seems that Tobirama Senju is not destined to die. With a sigh, Kinkaku stopped first and said, "Everyone, don't chase him for now, be careful of the trap." "Brother, what trap?" Hearing his brother's question, Kinkaku told him what he had just thought, and Yinkaku was sweating. "Humph, this second-generation Hokage is really despicable." "What a joke! If I am despicable, then you are despicable and shameless." As soon as Yinkaku finished speaking, Tobirama Senju's voice came from the side. The people of the Hidden Cloud Village looked in the direction of the voice, and when they saw Tobirama Senju, they also saw the Konoha ninja behind him, especially when they saw Uzumaki Mito. Even the two brothers Kinkaku and Yinkaku couldn't help but shrink their pupils. Sorry, I'm afraid you can't go back. Chapter 18 The Wronged Kyuubi. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Both parties knew that things would definitely go wrong today. There's nothing left to say, just do it. Fire release, Dragon Fire Technique. With a ninjutsu attack from Sarutobi Hiruzen, the battle between the two parties officially began. Because he wanted to hide his whereabouts from others, Senju Tobirama did not bring many people with him this time. Apart from his 6 students and the 9-tailed Jinchuriki Uzumaki Mito, there were only a few clan heads. Don't underestimate the patriarchs of these families. The reason why they can become the patriarchs of their respective families is that in addition to their lofty prestige, they also possess super strength. If we follow the positioning of strength in fantasy novels, even if these people are not Quasi-Kage level, they are still elite jonins. The 6 people including Sarutobi Hiruzen are the weakest in this unit. Fortunately, the opponent's strength is not too strong. In addition to the 2 stronger brothers Jin Kaku, there are only a few veteran jounin and some new jounin and chunin in their army. Sarutobi Hiruzen and the other 6 are not fools. They know that the veteran jounin is the prey of the clan heads of each family, and they only need to deal with these new jounin. As for Uzumaki Mito, her goal is clear, that is the Golden Horn and Silver Horn brothers. Smelly woman, kill these 2 people quickly. For the Golden Horn and Silver Horn brothers, Kyuubi's memory can be said to be very profound. Before it was captured by Hashirama, the cheater, and sealed into the body of Uzumaki Mito, the young brothers Gold and Silver Horns tried to prove their strength by killing it. Of course Kyuubi would not spoil them, and swallowed them both in one big mouth. Its original intention was to directly digest each other. But instead of being digested in its belly, the 2 of them took the opportunity to swallow some of its flesh and blood, allowing them to obtain their own chakra. Kyuubi has always been ashamed of this matter. It's okay if there is no chance. After all, it is sealed in Uzumaki Mito's body and cannot go anywhere. Well now, I finally saw these 2 bastards, and I had to kill them. Kyuubi, don't be so grumpy. Facing Kyuubi's urging, Uzumaki Mito is now very calm and has no intention of killing anyone at all. What? You actually said I was irritable? Kyuubi said something in disbelief, and then roared, are you talking human language? I used to live a good life outside, eating and sleeping whenever I wanted, but your man insisted on thinking that I was too dangerous. Why did he seal me into your body? Am I too dangerous? I think he is more dangerous than me. At this point, Kyuubi hadn't finished speaking, and roared again, you are not a good person. I just want a bigger place for myself to move. Just use that King Kong blockade to beat me. I am Kyuubi, not a dog. Are you telling me not to be angry now? If I whip you a few times during my free time, I guarantee you will be even more angry than me. Feeling Kyuubi's grievance, Uzumaki Mito was also a little embarrassed at this time. Listening to what it said, it seemed that her husband was really looking for trouble, and because of his preconceived notions, he believed that Kyuubi could not communicate with him. It wasn't until he used King Kong blockade to beat Kyuubi several times that he discovered that Kyuubi also had normal thinking and could communicate, but at that time, the hatred between the 2 parties had already accumulated. And it was impossible to resolve it. It seems that your resentment is very deep. Yeah, that's pretty deep. Okay, then I will use your power to kill these 2 people. As soon as he finished speaking, 9 red tails appeared behind Mito Uzumaki. This is the initial form of the Kyuubi transformation, the Kyuubi coat. In this state, Uzumaki Mito's basic qualities such as speed, strength, and insight are greatly improved. Of course there are pros and cons. Because the Kyuubi's chakra is too violent, Uzumaki Mito cannot use any ninjutsu or sealing techniques in this state. Originally, he wanted to use his own power to kill the 2 gold and silver brothers, but seeing that Kyuubi's resentment was deep, he used its power. I want to use this method to slightly reduce Kyuubi's resentment. Brother, be careful. Okay, big brother. Seeing Uzumaki Mito begin to transform into a 9-tails without saying a word, the expressions of the 2 brothers Gold and Silver also became serious. In order to reassure the Nidaime Raikage, the 2 of them did not carry the 6 paths ninja tools this time. The difference in strength between them with and without the ninja tool cannot be said to be that of heaven and earth, but it can also be said that they are completely different. Are you ready? I'm coming. Before Uzumaki Mito launched the attack, he kindly reminded the opponent. However, the other party didn't seem to appreciate it. Uzumaki Mito didn't care about this. He waved his right hand fiercely at the two of them, and a sharp claw composed of nine-tailed chakra attacked the opponent. Facing the attack, the two brothers Jean and Silver reacted quickly and evaded in two directions. Seeing this, Uzumaki Mito smiled slightly, waved his hands at the same time, and two sharp claws began to chase the two men respectively. The power of the nine-tails chakra is extraordinary. While the gold and silver brothers were hiding, there was a loyal Kyuubi ninja who wanted to stop these two claws. Unfortunately, no matter whether it is ninjutsu or nintaijutsu, it is of no use, and these ninjas who helped the gold and silver brothers inevitably leaked some flaws, and were caught by Konoha and started to chase them. "Good guy, how dare you get distracted while fighting me?" Sarutobi Hiruzen muttered, and saw the right moment and fired a fire dragon bullet, facing the flames coming from the front, left and right. The man had no time to use ninjutsu to defend himself and could only jump upward to avoid the flames. The opponent's reaction was as expected by Sarutobi Hiruzen. Taking advantage of the opportunity when the opponent was in the air and unable to dodge, he used another move called the Dragon Fire Technique. This time the opponent couldn't avoid it and forced himself to eat this fire escape ninjutsu. The power of fire release ninjutsu is among the best among the 5 release ninjutsu. This person's situation was particularly miserable when he forcefully ate a shot of dragon fire. "Let me help you out." Seeing his opponent whose clothes were burned and whose body was severely burned, Hiruzen Sarutobi wiped his neck with a kunai to free him. Secretly, Senju Tobirama nodded towards the battle between Sarutobi Hiruzen and then looked elsewhere. The family patriarchs have nothing to pay attention to, and it is impossible for them to overturn with their strength. His main focus was on his sister-in-law and the other disciples. "I pay attention to my sister-in-law because I am afraid that my sister-in-law will use the nine-tails chakra too much, causing her body to be corroded by the chakra. Paying attention to the disciples is to prevent them from losing their lives. The purpose of bringing 6 disciples here this time is to allow them to contribute to the village, increase their knowledge, and hone themselves. They are not here to die." Chapter 19 Uzumaki Mito regains his true nature. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Among the 6 students in Senju Tobirama, Hiruzen Sarutobi, Danzo Shimura, Kagami Uchiha, and Tofu Akimichi were able to face the Kyuubi ninja with ease. As for Mito Monahan and Koharu, they are in a bit of danger. Mitoman's main ability is to control ninja tools. His fighting style is a bit like Tian at the beginning of the plot, channeling various ninja tools from scrolls to attack the enemy. Koharu, who has transferred to another dormitory, is good at using medical ninjutsu. And his physical strength is considered to be the lowest among the 6. Facing the attack of the Kyuubi ninja, she could only ensure her own safety first and take the time to give some counterattacks. However, in the eyes of the other party, these counterattacks are not painful at all. Without the interference of external forces, the 2 battles between Mito Kaden and Koharu Kadini would probably end in defeat. Fortunately, Sarutobi Hiruzen took care of his opponent. He didn't go to rescue Mito Menyen and Koharu from the dormitory first, but went to Danzo first. Although after Danzo learned that he had become the 3rd Hokage, the two had some conflicts, but after all, they are friends for many years, and with Danzo's strength, the combined strength of the two can defeat their opponents faster. "Danzo, go help the others." "Humph, I don't need you to teach me." After working together to eliminate the enemy, Danzo felt a little arrogant and turned around to help Akimichi get wind. As time passed, all the ninjas on Konoha's side eliminated their respective ninjas and began to converge towards Senju Tobirama. "Hokage-sama, do you need to help Mito-sama?" On the battlefield at this time, only the Golden Horn and the Silver Horn were still struggling to resist Uzumaki Mito's attack. The other Kyuubi ninjas they brought had all died at the hands of the Konoha ninjas. In order to avoid long nights and nightmares, Hyuga, the leader of the Hyuga clan, sent someone to propose helping Uzumaki Mito. "No, let sister-in-law have fun." Because he was the 9-tailed Jinchuriki, Uzumaki Mito's social circle was very narrow and he didn't have many friends at all. During normal times, she could only raise grass and water flowers at Hashirama's house, and her life was very boring. It was a rare opportunity to leave the village this time, and Senju Tobirama wanted his sister-in-law to have fun. Smelly woman, do you know how to fight? Shut up Kyuubi, I don't need you to teach me. Kyuubi looked at Mito's left-hand slap and right leg operation. He was so anxious that he wished he could corrupt this stinky woman immediately so that he could control this body. Stop playing around, you can't kill anyone like this. Jinyani Injio is not a weakling, and it is indeed difficult to kill the opponent with pure physical skills, it's just that Mito himself is just playing, why kill them so quickly? If you kill them, won't you have nothing to play with? After finally getting out, she didn't want it to end just like that. Brother, I'll hold her down for a while, you can run away first. If you want to run away, you run first, and I'll help you hold him down. The battle lasted for a while, and the two brothers Jean and Silver also realized that the stinky woman opposite was just toying with them and was not in a hurry to kill him. They felt that this was not going to work. The other party had more Ninetales chakra than both of their brothers combined. They had no power to fight back in front of her. Thinking of this, the two of them wanted to prepare to run away. Both brothers wanted to leave this opportunity to each other, but they glanced at other places with their peripheral vision, and the battlefield they saw made them very desperate. At some point, all the subordinates they brought had been killed by Konoha's side, and they were surrounded by Konoha ninjas. There is truly no way to heaven and no way to earth. After all, Uzumaki Mito was not a devil. Seeing that the Gold and Silver brothers were desperate and had even begun to give up resistance, she curled her lips and entered the second form of the nine-tailed transformation. In other words, the chakra on the surface is covered with an exoskeleton. During Shippuden, when Naruto vs. Pain transformed into a tailed beast, it was the second form. What does Mito do with this form? Of course, it's to give the other party a good time. Her mouth, which had turned into a small Kyuubi, opened, and a strong chakra condensed in front of her mouth. After a while, it condensed into a small ball. Seeing this situation, Senju Tojian's eyelids jumped. He wanted to ask his sister-in-law not to play so big. The two brothers, Golden Horn and Silver Horn, had the chakra of the Kyuubi and were very good experimental materials. It's just that the timing of his words was a little slower, and the tailed beast jade formed by Mito was a little faster. He had no choice but to speak loudly. Everyone, please disperse, this is the tailed beast jade. As soon as he finished speaking, Tobirama looked around and found that these guys had already started running away. Sarutobi Sasuke, the patriarch of the Sarutobi family, muttered as he ran, has our Hokage-sama lost his mind? Why didn't he run away? What are you running for? Akimichi, the head of the Akimichi family who was running away with Sarutobi Sasuke, said, he has the flying thunder god. He can return to Konoha in just an instant. Can you do it, old monkey? Go, don't tease Mungzi. Akimichi wanted to say something, but at this moment, there was a violent explosion behind them. Looking back, a smoke similar to mushroom eggs rose into the sky, followed by a strong air current. Fortunately, they ran fast, otherwise they would have peeled off their skin even if they said nothing. Sister-in-law, are you okay? Just like what he said in the battle with Akimichi, Tobirama did use the flying thunder god technique to escape, but he did not run back to Konoha. After all, this place is still too far away from Konoha, and it would take a lot of chakra to go back. Fortunately, he buried a lot of flying thunder god coordinates around here, and found one nearby to avoid the aftermath of the tailed beast ball. It's okay, I'm fine now. After exiting the Ninetales form, Uzumaki Mito stretched his waist, saying that he was very happy at this time. Looking at Uzumaki Mito like this, Tobirama said hesitantly, Sister-in-law, how do I feel? What do you feel? After thinking for a while, Tobirama replied, you are a little too lively. Uzumaki Mito tilted his head and asked calmly, isn't this bad? Not bad. Tobirama thought about it. He had only seen such a sister-in-law when his elder brother was alive. After his elder brother died, his sister-in-law seemed to have changed. From a spirited girl, she became a Yamato Nadeshiko. It's not that this is bad, but Tobirama still likes the cheerful and lively sister-in-law in the past. He hasn't seen such a lively sister-in-law for a long time. He is just a little uncomfortable. Sister-in-law, you don't have to stay at home all the time when you go back. You should still get together with your friends more. Uzumaki Mito rolled her eyes. Is it because she doesn't want to go out and play with friends? It's because she is the Ninetales Jinchuriki. It was okay when Hashirama was still there. Even if she went berserk, Hashirama could suppress her, and she could play happily in the village, but what about now? She is playing in the village, what if she goes berserk? Does Tobirama, this stinky brother, have the strength of Hashirama to suppress the Nine Tails at will? No, he doesn't. Then what are you talking about? Chapter 22nd Extra Video. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After solving the Golden Horn and Silver Horn brothers, everyone in Konoha returned home very smoothly. By the time Tobirama returned to Konoha, it was still 2 days before the light curtain appeared. In these 2 days, the ninja world was in turmoil. Tobirama received the news from the front that the second-generation Tsuchikage Mu and the second-generation Mizukage Ghost and Genjutsu died together on the battlefield. Including the second-generation Raikage who died just a few days ago. 3. Kages had already died in the first ninja war. At the same time, Yunin village also sent a letter asking why their second-generation Raikage died. Tobirama knew that they must have known from the body of the second Raikage that the death of the Raikage had nothing to do with Konoha. At that time, Tobirama did not bring back the body of the second Raikage. The main purpose was to clear Konoha's suspicion. There is also a lot of information left on the corpse. At the very least, Kyuubi's ninjas could judge from the second-generation Raikage's wounds that the cause of his death was that he was attacked from behind and his heart was taken out. This is a good explanation that the people who killed their second-generation Raikage were people from their own village. Coupled with the disappearance of the ninja troops of the two brothers, Jean and Silver, and the huge pit on the border, obviously, who the murderer is has been revealed. If they insisted that the murderer was from Konoha, it would be a bit insulting to everyone's intelligence. Can Tobirama appear behind the second Raikage and successfully sneak attack him? The answer is almost impossible. Even though Tobirama has the Flying Thunder God technique and can teleport, the second-generation Raikage is also very strong. Their thunder release ninja taijutsu originally stimulates the human body's nerves, thereby gaining superb reaction capabilities. Like in the original work, Namikaze Minato had already outplayed the Flying Thunder God, and did not sneak attack on AI, who was not yet the fourth Raikage, so he could only gain a certain upper hand in the battle. Tobirama's Flying Thunder God is not as good as Namikaze Minato. It is basically impossible to sneak attack the second-generation Raikage with one hit. Also, the feeling is different when one of your own people and the enemy appear behind you. As strong as Madara, wasn't his heart ripped out by his own Black Zetsu? Therefore, Tobirama was very sure that Kyuubi was blackmailing Konoha. Anyway, it doesn't cost any money, just give it a try. If it succeeds, Yunin village will get some benefits. If it fails, Yunin village will not suffer any loss. Someone is coming. Yes, Hokage-sama. Looking at the Umbun ninja in front of him, Tobirama said directly, "Tell Kyuubi that the death of the second Raikage has nothing to do with our Konoha, and urge them to fulfill the terms of the contract as soon as possible. Otherwise, either party will think that they unilaterally tore up the agreement, and then don't blame us." Yes, Hokage-sama. The ANBU ninja left, and Tobirama turned to look at the window, his eyes flickering as he didn't know what he was thinking. "Teacher, do you want to force Yunin village?" "Yes." "Why?" "If they are really pushed into a hurry, the two villages that finally made peace will start a war again." Doesn't Tobirama know this? He knows too much. Under the pressure of Konoha, Kyuubi had only 2 ways to go. The first one is to agree to the peace treaty signed by the second Raikage and pay the compensation as soon as possible. It doesn't matter if the contract was torn up by the Jin and In brothers. Tobirama still has the original here, so just give them a copy. Article 2. Kyuubi ignored Konoha and declared the peace treaty signed by the second Raikage invalid. By that time, even if Yunin village doesn't start a war, Tobirama will start a war. The second-generation Raikage died in Cloud Hidden Village, and the elite ninja force of the Gold and Silver brothers died. It can be said that Yunin village is at its weakest now. To be honest, Tobirama really had some hope because Kyuubi village did not recognize the contract signed by the second Raikage. Once the war starts again, he will send those family ninjas recorded in the notebook to the front. Line G, what kind of guys are these? They dare to come here to test me. Monkey, you have to remember that we in Konoha do not want war, but we are not afraid of war either. But, seeing what Sarutobi Hiruzen wanted to say, Senju Tobirama raised his hand to stop him and said, "Be hard when you should be hard, and be soft when you should be soft. As for when to be hard and when to be soft. First, you have to look at yourself, and secondly, you have to look at whether the other party can cooperate. Sarutobi Hiruzen, teacher, I have reason to suspect that you are driving. You go down first and think carefully about what I said today. Is teacher. Sarutobi Hiruzen had no choice but to retire first. At 8 o'clock in the evening, the magical light curtain was ready to appear in the utilization office. Danzo Shimura and Hiruzen Sarutobi also arrived at the office at the right time. It's just that they are not the only ones coming this time. Uchiha Kagami, Akimichi Tofu, Mito Kadini, and Koharu all came. As soon as they entered the office, they saw the light curtain on the desk and were shocked and speechless for a while. Let's watch it for now. If you have any questions, ask Danzo or Hiruzen later. Senju Tobirama waved his hand, and he was not surprised by the appearance of the other 4 students. Even Danzo was able to follow Hiruzen to the office without informing him, and the other 4 who were also disciples came to the office together today, which was very reasonable. Shu, if you have any questions, I'll ask you later. Now, look at the light curtain. With Danzo, the unexpected addition, Hiruzen already had experience in facing this kind of situation. Anyway, let's watch it first. Hi, hello, dear viewers, I am the new up leader Tian. Today's video is also a side video. Yes, I received a gift from a fan again. The person who gave the gift was still the audience gentleman named Senju Tobirama, the second Hokage of Konoha village. I once again sincerely thank this audience member for the gift, which really helped me a lot. Okay, without further ado, let's get down to business. The reason why this video is created is because Mr. Tobirama asked me a question. I have to say that Mr. Tobirama is really into the show. He writes a note in neon script. By the way, why don't you just send me a private message on Xiaopa station? I also sent a note, which felt so retro. Ahem, everyone, take a look, this is the little note written by Master Tobirama. On the screen, Lin Tian took out the small note and showed it to everyone. In order to prevent everyone from understanding it, I have translated it for you using translation software. How about it? I will be considerate. Yes, this sentence on the note means, please tell me, Tian, what should be done to achieve peace in the ninja world? To be honest, when I learned the meaning of this sentence, my brain was filled with questions. Wangda Fa, I am just a small video up owner. This question should be asked to Kishimoto next door. After all, Naruto is his work. Laugh, however, since Mr. Tobirama asked me, I will use my personal understanding to briefly explain it. If what I said is wrong, please forgive me. Didn't pass the first round. It's so uncomfortable. I need comfort, please recommend. Oh.